Hollywood, California, Monday, June 8th.
The Lux Radio Theatre, presented from its new home on Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood, California. Lux presents Hollywood. Such great personalities as William Powell, Myrna Loy, W.S. Van Dyke, Theda Bara, James Seymour, Minna Gamble, Porter Hall, and many others will take part in this presentation sent to you by the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, the beauty soap of the stars. Appearing before a distinguished Hollywood audience, Mr. Powell, Miss Loy, and a cast of 18 great players present the play that has broken box office records from coast to coast, The Thin Man. And as producer tonight, we present the director who did The Thin Man on the screen, together with such triumphs as Naughty Marietta, Trader Horn, Rose Marie, I Live My Life, and countless other smash hit pictures. Mr. W.S. Van Dyke. Mr. Van Dyke.
Hello, everybody. Well, it's a great scene at the Lux Radio Theatre tonight. In our audience, we have Betty Davis, Jimmy and Lucille Gleason, Bob Armstrong, Ole Olson of Olson and Johnson, Stu Irwin, Jimmy Starr, famous communist, Evelyn Venable, Mr. and Mrs. Leon Schlesinger. Maybe it would interest you a little inside information on the show we're doing tonight, The Thin Man, and about William Powell and Myrna Loy, who are going to do it for you. As you know, The Thin Man was a best-selling novel by Dashiell Hammett. Hunt Stromberg, down at the studio, MGM, got a hold of it and brought it to me. Woody, he said, if you'll make this picture, I'll buy the story. Well, I read it, and while it was a good enough mystery story, there was something else about the book that struck me. Here was something new and fresh and very charming. A romance between a man and his wife. It's a story of a couple of kids that understood each other and had a blessed confidence in each other. Beneath all the casualness and all the wisecracking, there's a lovely, wholesome relationship. Something really deep and sweet and inspiring. Well, we decided to make the picture. Albert Hackett and Francis Goodrich wrote a swell script. William Powell and Myrna Loy played the parts. And how? They played them beautifully, because Powell was just Powell and Loy was just Loy. Both of them wisecracking all the time and frowning right through the picture. I suppose you know that plenty of motion pictures take from 2 months to a year to shoot. We did The Thin Man in 16 days, retakes and all. Of course, it wasn't a pretentious picture. We didn't make it as one. I hate epics. But it is evident that people liked it. It has been very interesting to study out how they could tell this story on the radio. Bill and Myrna have had a lot of fun getting it ready for you, just as they did making the picture. And from the original story, from the original motion picture cast, we have, and are fortunate in having, Minna Gamble, Porter Hall, William Henry, and Thomas Jackson here tonight. So here we go, with William Powell and Nick Charles, and Myrna Loy as Nora in The Thin Man. Here they come, Bill Powell and Myrna Loy. We're in a fashionable cafe, Montmartre, New York City. It's Christmas Eve, and the well-appointed dining room is filling rapidly. From the bar comes a good-looking young fellow of about 35, tall, casual, and worldly wise. He's Nick Charles, the well-known private detective, played by William Powell. And he's waiting for his charming wife, Nora, played by Myrna Loy. As he takes his place at the table, a young girl on the other side of the room recognizes him and hurries over.
Aren't you Mr. Nick Charles, the detective?
Yes, I'm Nick Charles.
I thought I recognized you. My name is Dorothy Winans.
Oh, yes? How do you do?
Do you mind if I sit down for a moment?
No, but I'm expecting my wife in a few minutes. You don't mind explaining your presence to her?
Oh, of course. That's my fiancé over there at the other table.
Oh, well, that makes everything all right, doesn't it? Sit down.
Thank you.
Your name is,
Dorothy Winans. I'm Clyde Winans' daughter.
Clyde Winans, Oh, yes, of course. Your father was having some trouble about one of his inventions a few years ago. I handled the case for him.
I know. That's why I want to speak to you now.
Oh. Well, I'm not practicing anymore, Miss Wynant. You see, I've retired.
Please, Mr. Charles, I need you.
Oh. What seems to be the trouble?
It's Dad. He went away about 3 months ago, and I haven't heard from him. Not a word. I'm worried sick.
Oh, I wouldn't if I were you. After all, he's an inventor. He gets an idea he wants to work on. It's only natural that he should hide away somewhere. He's done it before.
Yes, but never for 3 months.
Did you see him before he left?
No, Mr. Macaulay was the only one he spoke to. Well, Macaulay and Julia Wolfe. She's Dad's secretary.
Julia Wolfe. Oh, yes, I believe I met her. Macaulay is your father's lawyer, isn't he?
Yes.
His lawyer and his secretary both speak to him before he leaves, but no one knows where he went.
He wouldn't tell them.
What about your mother? He wouldn't tell her either?
No, and Mother and Dad aren't... They haven't seen each other for some time.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't know just what I can do for you. Why don't you speak to Macaulay? Maybe he's heard from your father and forgotten to let you know.
Oh, well, I'll call him now.
That's the girl. Let me know how it turns out, will you?
Of course. I'll be back in a few minutes.
I'll be here.
Madam, you can't bring that dog in here. Dogs aren't allowed. I'm sorry, but
I'll be here. Aster. Aster, come here, boy. Here. Down, boy.
But, madam,
down.
it isn't only your dog. If we allowed everyone.
Oh, here you are.
Aster. Quiet, Aster. Quiet. Slow, Nora. I hear you brought the dog.
I didn't bring him. He brought me. I think the doorman's mad, miss.
Madam, I'm afraid you'll have to take the dog outside.
It's all right, Joe. It's my dog and my wife.
You might have mentioned me first.
But, Mr. Charles, are you sure that
Of course I'm sure. He's well trained. He'll behave himself.
nobody might bite someone?
No. Only me, Joe. He only bites me.
Yes, he's fussy about what he eats.
Go ahead, Joe. I'll be responsible for him.
Very well, sir. If you say so, sir.
There you are, my dear. See what an influential husband you've got?
You do stand in the door, man. Mr. Charles.
Oh, yes, Dorothy?
May I introduce my fiancé, Andy Reed, Mr. Charles?
How do you do? How do you do, sir? Any luck, Dorothy?
Yes, he's just around the corner.
Your father?
No, Mr. Macaulay.
going to see him now. Oh, fine.
Miss?
Yes, my dear? Oh, I beg your pardon. Miss Wynant, Mr. Reed, my wife.
How do you do? I'm sorry we have to rush, but you'll excuse us, Mr. Charles. Of course.
We're to Normandy for a couple of weeks. Why don't you drop around?
Thanks, we will. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, Mrs. Charles.
Goodbye. Pretty girl.
You like blondes?
You got type?
Only you, darling. Lanky brunettes with wicked jaws.
Who is she?
Dorothy Wynant, daughter of Clyde Wynant. I worked on a case for her father. Some nut wanted to kill him.
Charming. What's the matter now?
Wynant disappeared. Dorothy's afraid something happened to him.
Has anything happened to him?
My darling wife. How do I know? Funny, though. That secretary of his ought to know something.
Secretaries usually do. Who is she?
Julia Wolfe. Smart girl, Julia. I always suspected she had some kind of hold on Wynant. That's why he kept her on.
Maybe you ought to give her a ring.
What for?
Oh, just to say hello.
Maybe.
Want a nickel?
No, I've got one. I'll be right back. Hello? I want Skylar, 40962. No, Skylar. That's right, 40962.
Hello? Yes, Julie Wolfe speaking. Who? Oh, hello, Mr. Charles. Yes? What was it you wanted to... Oh, no, I don't. He didn't tell me. Not a word. I'm sorry. Well, that's all right. Goodbye.
Morelli.
Coming. Well, who was that?
Nick Charles.
The detective?
He wanted to know where Wynant was.
Oh, yeah? Why?
He didn't say.
Did anyone see Wynant come here that night? The night you and him had the scrap?
I don't know.
Oh, no? Well, I guess I'll scram.
Wait a minute, Morelli. Where are you going?
Oh, taking a little stroll, that's all. If Nick Charles is going to pop up around here, I want to be far away when he does.
Oh, don't be a fool, Morelli.
Fool, huh? Hey, listen, sister, I got a record 9-inch and to come face to face with no dick.
Sit down, Morelli. You need money, don't you?
Yeah. What about it? You got some?
Plenty. I'm Wynant's secretary.
Oh, yeah? What do you mean by that?
Wouldn't you like to know? Your friend Pierre serves good dinners, Nick.
All right.
You still didn't tell me what Julia Wolf had to say.
Nothing. She didn't know where he was, that's all. Finished?
Finished.
Let's get out. We'll grab a cab and get back to the hotel.
Ready and willing. Where's my purse? Come on, Esther.
Joe, call me cab.
Hello? Hello? Esther, be quiet. Stop it. Hello? Yes? Who is it? Oh, he is. I see. Thank you. Oh, Nick,
Yeah?
it's Mr. McCauley. He's on his way up.
Call him. What would he want?
Isn't he Wyman's lawyer?
Yeah?
Maybe he's got some news.
Well, he ought... Say, you're worrying an awful lot about this business. Forget it.
I'll open it.
I beg your pardon.
I'm Mrs. Charles. Come in, Mr. McCauley.
Hello, McCauley.
Well, hello, Charles. Well, how are you?
Fine. Sit down.
Thanks. Dorothy told me you were here. I took the liberty of coming to see you.
Of course.
Charles, what's Mimi up to?
Mimi? Oh, Dorothy's mother. Does she have to be up to something?
She usually is, trying one way or another to get money out of Wynant. I wanted to find out if you were, sleuthing for her.
I haven't been a detective 4 years.
Oh, you don't say.
Oh, my wife's father died and left her a lumber mill, a narrow gauge railroad, and, a couple of other things. I'm looking after them.
I see.
What's all the fuss about? Is Wynant in hiding?
Well, you know as much about it as I do. I haven't seen him in 3 months. He sends word through Julia Wolf when he wants money. I give it to her, and she gives it to him.
Mine? Hello? Oh, just a moment, please. It's for you, Mr. McCauley. Your office.
Oh, thank you. Hello? What? He is? Oh, where is he? Oh, very well. Well, he's back in town.
Mr. Wyman?
Yes, thank heaven. He's waiting for me now. Well, I've got to rush. I'll tell you, it's no joke working for a man like that. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Charles. Goodbye, Charles.
Hello?
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. $11:30. Almost Christmas, darling.
If that's a hint, you can drop it. You get your present at breakfast, not a minute before.
Beef. You know, Nick, I've been thinking. It's funny the way Wynant popped up all of a sudden.
Yes. Wasn't it?
You think there's anything behind it?
Why should there be?
Well, I don't know. It just strikes me as being funny, that's all. You're nearer than I am, darling.
Hello? Speaking. Oh, hello, Dorothy. What? What? When? Oh, I see. Well, yes, of course I'll be here.
What is it, darling? Darling, what is it?
Julia Wolf has just been murdered.
You are listening to William Powell and Myrna Loy in the story of The Thin Man from the stage of the Lux Radio Theatre in Hollywood Boulevard. Before we go on with the story of Nick and Nora, we want to take you on a quick tour of Hollywood.
Lobby of the Hotel Roosevelt, where stars and newcomers gather. A young actress just breaking into pictures is telling her friend of her success.
Well, there's one thing. I've got one of the best managers in Hollywood, and that means a lot. Oh, but the rules he's laid down for me. Gee, what do you mean, rules? Well, you'd think I was going into training for the Olympics. I've got to lose 5 pounds. I've got to take lessons in singing and diction, and of course my complexion's got to be perfect. I've got to be more careful than ever not to get little blemishes or enlarged pores and what they call cosmetic skin. Thank goodness I know enough to use Lux toilet soap regularly, the way everybody around here does.
9 out of 10 beautiful Hollywood screen stars use Lux toilet soap and have for years. Here's what the famous Claudette Colbert has to say. When I tell people how simple my complexion care is, They always seem surprised. I use cosmetics, of course, but I always use Lux toilet soap to guard against cosmetic skin. It's easy to keep skin lovely, my way.
And now, on with the show of the Thin Man. An hour has gone by since Nick heard about the murder of Julia Wolf. In the living room of their suite at the hotel, Nick and Nora are listening to the radio. A news reporter is broadcasting the latest developments of the case.
And here's the latest news of the Julia Wolf murder. The police have found out that the beautiful blonde secretary was a gangster's girl and is spreading the dragnet for one Joe Morelli, said to be hiding out somewhere in the city. In Paris today, the Chamber of Deputies...
Never mind the Chamber of Deputies. Joe Morelli, that's what I wanted to know about. Well, did you get any more information out of headquarters?
As much as they had. Julia Wolf was shot and killed about 9 or 9:30. Body discovered on the floor of a living room a little after 11.
Who discovered it?
That'll surprise you. Mimi Wynant.
Dorothy's mother?
Right.
What was she doing there?
I don't know.
Where's Clyde Wynant?
Still missing.
Missing? But Macaulay was going to see him. They had an appointment.
I spoke to Macaulay. Wynant never showed up. Nobody knows where he is.
It's going to be pretty tough on Dorothy, isn't it?
Meaning what?
Meaning that it looks as if Clyde Wynant skipped one appointment in order to keep another with Julia Wolf.
You think he killed her?
Oh, it's just a guess. You're the detective around here, darling.
Oh, that's Dorothy. She said she wanted to see me. Well, come in, Dorothy.
Thank you. Is anyone here?
That's Nora. Have a seat.
Hello, Dorothy.
I'm sorry for breaking in on you like this.
Oh, that's all right. We're used to it.
Anything wrong?
Julia Wolf is dead.
Yes, we know that.
Here's the gun she was shot with.
What are you trying to tell me? That you did it?
Yes. I hated her. She kept me from seeing my father. I went down there to ask her where he was. She wouldn't tell me. I shot her.
Where did you hit her?
Why, in the heart.
Pretty good shot you are. What did she do?
She fell down.
Did she make any sound? Didn't scream?
I don't know.
Which way did she fall?
She fell over backwards.
Oh, yes? People fall toward a shot, you know, not back from it. I knew you were lying.
Oh.
All right, come on, now, brace up. Where did you get this gun?
I bought it in a pawn shop.
I thought so. Why did you say you did it? Whom are you trying to shield?
Oh, please, don't ask me.
You got to tell me.
Nick, let me handle this, will you? Dorothy, look at me. Nick is trying to help you. Why don't you help him? You were trying to shield your mother, weren't you?
No.
Your father, then. Dorothy.
Yes. My father.
Why did you think he did it?
Mother was the first one to find Julia Wolf. She saw something in Julia's hand, and she took it.
What was it?
A watch chain. It belonged to my father.
So you think your father did it?
I don't know.
Did your mother turn the chain over to the police?
No, she kept it. She didn't tell them anything about it.
But she showed it to you.
Yes.
Why did your mother go to Julia Wolf's apartment in the first place?
She went to ask for money.
Oh, money again, huh? Yes? Oh, have them come up, please.
Who is it?
Dorothy, I wonder if you'd mind waiting in the bedroom.
Of course.
It'll be only a minute.
Well, Nick?
It's Mimi Wynant.
Alone?
She's never alone. Dorothy's brother is with a screwy college kid. And, some guy by the name of Chris Jorgensen.
Jorgensen? Who's he?
Macaulay told me about him, a hanger-on type. I think he's after Mimi's dough.
But she hasn't any.
Maybe that's why she wanted to get some from Julia. I'll take it. Hello.
Nick, how are you?
Fine. Come in, Mimi.
Thank you, Nick. This is my son, Gilbert.
How are you? Very well, thank you.
And Mr. Chris Jorgensen. He's an old friend of mine.
How do you do? How do you do? Sit down. Sit down. My wife.
How do you do?
Mrs. Wynant, Gilbert Wynant, and Mr. Jorgensen.
How do you do?
Well, Mimi?
Nick, I've never been in such a state in my life. You know, of course, that I was the one who found Julia Wolf.
So we've heard.
Oh, my dear, it was terrible. I walked in and there she was, lying dead on the floor.
I meant to ask you, Mother, was there much blood?
Gilbert, don't be so morbid.
But I'm interested in murders. You know, Mr. Charles, I formed a theory about this one already.
That's so.
In my opinion, the man who did it...
Gilbert, be quiet. You don't know anything about it.
Oh, but I do.
Be quiet.
You were saying, Mrs. Wynant?
About finding Julia Wolf. I was simply petrified, and such a mystery. Clyde Wynant's crazy, absolutely crazy to stay away at a time like this. No wonder the police think he had something to do with it.
What do you think?
Oh, I know he didn't, but I wish I could find him. I have something very important to tell him. And Macaulay won't help at all. He thinks I just want money.
Well, don't you?
Oh, Nick, you're always teasing.
Mrs. Wyman, were you alone when you found Julia Wolfe?
Why, of course I was.
Wasn't Mr. Jorgensen with you?
Certainly not. I don't know anything about it. The first word I had that Julia Wolfe was dead was when Mrs. Wyman called me at my club.
Oh, she called you?
Yes.
Why?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, let's not even talk about it. The thing to do is to find Clyde. And that's what I've come to you for, Nick. You will help me find him, won't you?
I'm afraid I can't, Mimi.
Oh, Nick, please.
Now, Mimi, there are 1,000 detectives in New York. Hire one of them.
But Clyde knows you. All you have to do is to get in touch with him and tell him that Mimi says everything is all right, but that I've got to see him.
I tell you again, I don't want any part of it.
Is that final?
Final?
Well, if that's the way you feel.
You turn up. You just help all you can. Give the police every possible assistance.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing in particular.
Oh. Well, we'll say good night.
Good night. I'm sorry I can't help you, Mimi.
Hello. Is this the Normandy Hotel? I want to speak to Mr. Charles. Yeah, Nick Charles. Hello, Mr. Charles. Say, I'm sorry I woke you up. But, Mr. Charles, I'd like to lay a proposition before you. It's about the murder of Julia Wolfe. Well, what's the difference who I am? Oh, wait a minute. All right. Wait a minute. Don't hang up. I'll tell you who I am. But you got to keep it under your hat. I'm Al Nunheim. Yeah, Nunheim. Now listen, I know who murdered Julia Wolfe, see? Sure I do. And I'll spill it to you for $5,000. I'll tell you how I know. Because I was outside of her apartment when she was shot. And I saw the one who did it. And I'll spill it to you when I get... Hey, wait a minute. Hey, I can't talk now. I'll call you again.
Hello? Hello? Hello, are you still there? Hello? What the...
Now what, darling?
I don't know. I'm crank, I guess. He hung up. And you better get back to bed and get some sleep.
Nick, are you asleep?
Yes.
Good. I want to talk to you.
That's jolly.
Don't you think you'd like to go back to detecting once in a while just for the fun of it?
Can't you get to sleep?
No. Everybody says you were a grand detective.
They were kidding you.
I'd like to see you work.
Tomorrow I'll buy you a whole lot of detective stories.
Oh, that poor girl's in an awful spot.
There's nothing I can do to help her.
She thinks you can. It wouldn't hurt you to find out if you could, would it?
Darling, my guess is that Wynant killed Julia, and Dorothy knows it. And the police will catch him without my help. Now, please put out the light. I'm tired.
Oh, all right. But I'm mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear a knock?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Astor. You want to answer it, Nick?
Oh, good Lord.
All right, stay in bed. I'll do it myself. Well?
Mr. Charles here.
Yes?
I got to talk to him right away.
What about?
What's going on? What's going on?
There's someone to see you, Nick.
That's great. I was afraid I'd have to go to sleep. Come in.
Yeah.
How about a chair, Mr.
Stay where you are, both of you. I got you covered, so don't move.
A stick-up.
No, it ain't a stick-up. But I got to talk to you, Mr. Charles. I want you to tell me something, and I want you to give it to me straight. You get me?
Do you mind putting that gun down? My wife doesn't care, but I'm a very nervous person. Thank you. All right, shoot. What's on your mind?
You don't need to tell me you're tough. I heard about you. I'm Joe Morelli.
I've never heard about you.
I didn't bump up Julia.
All right, you didn't.
I haven't seen her in 3 months. We were all washed up.
Why tell me?
I wouldn't have any reason to hurt her.
She was always on the up and up with me. But that dirty little rat Nunheim, well, he got sore because she liked me and hated him. So he put the finger on me.
That's all very swell, brother, only you're peddling your fish in the wrong market. I've had nothing to do with it.
Now, listen. The boys used to say that you were okay, a square guy. Now, that's why I'm here. What's the law doing to me? Do they think I did it? Or is it just something else to pin on me?
I'd tell you if I knew, but I'm not in on this. Ask the police.
Now, that'd be very smart. The boys would love to have me come in and ask questions. They'd like it right down to the end of their blackjacks. Now, I came to you on the level. The boys say you're on the level. Be on the level.
I'm on the level. If I knew anything, I'd be...
Who's that?
I don't know. This is your party.
Open up. Open up. This is the police. The police? You dirty two-timer.
Look out, Nora.
Oh!
Give me that gun. You rat, I'll show you. Drop that gun. Drop it. You'll double cross me, will you?
Come on, drop it. Give it to me. Give me the gun.
Grab it. Grab it. Let me go. Let me go, I said. I'll take that gun.
Thanks, officer. You almost had me.
Get some water, Joe.
Nora. Are you all right, Nora?
I'm Inspector Guild of the Homicide Squad.
You're in a good place, Inspector.
Who's that woman on the floor?
My wife.
This guy shoot her?
No, he tried to shoot me. I socked her on the jaw to get her out of the line of fire. I guess I hit her too hard. Nora.
Oh.
Look at me, Nora. Are you all right, darling?
Oh. You darn fool. You didn't have to knock me out. I knew you'd take him, but I wanted to see you do it.
She's all right.
Okay, Slattery. Take Morelli downstairs.
Come on,
Don't push.
I said don't.
How'd you people have to pop in, Inspector?
We hear this is getting to be a sort of a meeting place for the Winans family. So we figured we'd stick around in case the old man himself shows up. Then we seen Morelli sneak in, and we decided to come up. And it was pretty lucky for you, too.
Yeah.
Morelli a friend of yours?
I never saw him before.
What's he want of you?
Wanted to tell me he didn't kill Julia Wolfe.
What's that to you?
Nothing.
What did he think it was to you?
Ask him. I don't know.
I'm asking you.
Keep on asking.
Oh, so you're going to keep mum, huh? All right, Mr. Charles. I won't bother you tonight, but I'll be in tomorrow morning, and I'll have plenty of things to ask. Good night.
Thank you, Inspector Guild. Next time you come, try to stay longer. Nick, wake up. It's Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
Look, here's a telegram for you. It just came.
Open it, will you? Probably a touch from somebody. Well?
Nick,
What is it?
it's from Clyde Winans. Listen. Will you take charge of investigation on Julia Wolfe murder? Communicate with Herbert Macaulay. Clyde Winans.
Where's it from?
Philadelphia. Then he didn't do it, did he, Nick?
I don't know. Communicate with Macaulay, huh? All right, we'll ask him up here this morning. There you are, Macaulay. What do you think?
Well, he wants you to handle the case.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, what are the chances of you doing it?
Slim.
Oh, please, Nick.
Quiet, dear.
I wish you would, Mr. Charles. Would it help any if I could persuade him to meet you?
You might.
I had word from Wynant myself last night. He gave me a code message to insert in the newspapers in case I wanted to get in touch with him.
It wouldn't do any harm to put it in.
I'm sure you could clear this up. Oh, if Wynant would only come back. It doesn't look well he's staying away at a time like this.
Yes? Oh, just a minute. For you, Mr. Macaulay, police department.
Police department. Hello? Where? In Allentown. Yes. Well, when's the next train? Right. I'll get that.
Well?
Wynant's tried to commit suicide. They want me to go down and identify him. Well, I guess this changes the whole story, doesn't it? That looks like an admission of guilt. I had such hopes. I thought if you got on this case... well. Well, it's no use thinking about it now. Well, I'm sorry to have wasted so much of your time. You'll excuse me, won't you?
Of course.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, that's that.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, the mystery's all gone. And I wanted you to find out who did it.
Maybe I will.
But why not?
I don't believe he did it.
Why don't you?
No reason. That's hunch. But I'm going to find out. Come on, Dr. Watson. We're going places. I want to speak to Inspector Gill.
Man man to man, Mr. Charles. Are you working on this case?
Man to man, Inspector Guild, I'm not.
But he's interested.
I don't mind telling you, I'd rather have you in on the right side.
You mean not on Winant's side?
I'd rather have you working with us than against us.
So would I.
It's a bargain, then. Do you know about the case?
I read the papers. What about the suicide?
Oh, that's a phony. The men didn't even have to go down.
Yeah, I thought it might be. From now on, they're going to think that every thin man over 6 feet with white hair is Winant.
Do you think that Wynant did it?
It looks like he planned something. He shut up his apartment and his shop. But there's nothing yet to clinch it.
50 will get you 100 that Winant didn't do it.
Who's your candidate?
I haven't got that far yet. I don't think that everything points to Winant. What about the alibis?
They're all okay. Mrs. Winant, the boy, Dorothy, Macaulay, even Morelli.
What about Jorgensen?
Huh? Oh, I'll check on that. Well, I'm afraid this is kind of dull for you, Mrs. Charles.
Dull? I'm sitting on the edge of my chair.
Frankly, I'm stumped. I don't know what to do next. What about you, Charles?
Me? No, but I've got a hunch.
What is it?
I got a call last night. I thought it was from a crank, but I've changed my mind. Whoever it was knew something, and I've got a feeling I'll hear from him again. What time is it?
Almost 10. Still waiting to hear from the crank?
And how? Here, give me that quick. Hello? Yeah? Ed? This is Nick Charles? Who? Can't hear you. I said I can't hear you. Have to speak louder.
I can't speak any louder. Say, this is Al Nunheim again. You know, I called you last night. Hey, listen. Are you still interested in that proposition? Yeah, huh? All right, then. Now, here's the dope. And get this straight. The man who killed Julia Wolf...
What's this, Gil? You think Winant killed Julia Wolf and Nunheim?
Right.
Why?
2 reasons. First off, Mimi Winant came across with a watch chain. She plucked off Julia's body.
Oh, she did, huh?
It belonged to Clyde Winant.
Yeah. What's the second reason?
A pip. The bullet that killed Nunheim came from the same gun.
That's all right, Inspector.
All right, it's perfect. Clyde Winant is guilty of both those murders.
Maybe.
What?
50 will still get you 100. I say Winant's innocent.
You can say what you want, but I'm spreading a dragnet for that guy over every town in these United States. And I'll get him, too.
Calling all cars, cover all roads leaving city. Pick up Clyde Winant, tall, thin man, last seen wearing dark blue suit. Clyde Winant.
Do you think they'll find him, Nick? He must be in New York.
Probably is.
Oh, it's getting me down. I saw Dorothy today.
Yeah? What?
She's broken off her engagement.
What for?
Oh, don't ask me. She was a little hysterical. Something about not wanting to ruin her fiancé's life. Daughter of a murderer and all that.
Oh, poor kid. Well, see you later, darling.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to take us for a walk.
He's just been for a walk.
We're going sightseeing, aren't we, Esther?
Nick, what are you up to?
I've got a hunch. I'm going down to look at Winant's shop. I'm going to find out why it's closed.
Well, why shouldn't he close it? He went away.
He went away lots of times when I knew him, but he never closed his shop. I've got a hunch something's up.
You mean he might be hiding there?
I don't know, but this thing's got my goat. I've got to find out.
Nick, I won't have you going down there at this hour of the night. He's a crazy man. He might kill you.
It'll be all right. I've got Asta to protect me.
All right, go on. Go on. See if I care. But it's a dirty trick bringing me all the way to New York just to make me a widow.
You wouldn't be a widow long.
You bet I wouldn't.
Not with all your money.
You dog.
Goodbye, darling.
Nicky, take care of yourself, won't you?
Sure I will.
Don't say it that way. Say it as if you meant it.
Why, I believe the little woman cares.
I don't care. I'm just used to you, that's all.
Sure. So long, darling. Come on, Asta. Go on, go on.
Goodbye. Call me, darling, please. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Asta, if you let anything happen to him, you'll never wag that tail again.
listening to the Lux Radio Theatre's production of The Thin Man, starring William Powell and Myrna Loy, with the music under the direction of Louis Silvers. This is W.S. Van Dyke speaking. We have here tonight the man who wrote the great picture, Lawyer Man, for Bill Powell here. He's a producer, too, but just on the writing end. He's done many great pictures, 42nd Street, The Gold Diggers, King of Burlesque, and lots of others, including an original musical, Ladies in London, which you'll be seeing soon. And here he is, the man whose name you'll see on the screen before the picture starts, one of Hollywood's greatest picture writers, James Seymour. Come here, Jim.
Thanks, Woody. I've been a movie writer for 10 years. That's the first kind word anybody has said to me.
Listen, Jim, the average person thinks a movie writer is a fellow that sits by himself at a typewriter, hammers out a lot of dialogue, and hands it in. Would you like to correct that impression?
I certainly would. Nobody works alone and by himself to make a picture. It's a matter of constant cooperation between producer, director, technician, actors, and the writers. Some of the best story ideas come out of the conferences.
Jim, how many writers would you say there are on an average picture?
Plenty. Believe it or not, I've seen pictures where there were more writers than actors. If all the people who contributed to the story got screen credit, it would look like a page from the telephone directory.
You've written on both the stage and screen, Jim. Tell the folks how they're different.
Well, pictures have less talk, but they tell more in less time. Like concentrated foods, all the good and none of the waste. In the theater, everything must be brought to the audience. On the screen, you take your audience wherever the camera can go. And here's another important point that comes right back to your Lux Radio Theatre. On the stage, the star just enters. But on the screen, she's introduced with a big close-up. A picture of the star's face many times larger than life-size. Every time a movie star's complexion is mentioned in this Lux Radio Theatre, I think of those close-ups. Those stars just have to be beautiful. And they found that Lux toilet soap helps them look their best. Producers know it, too. And that's why it's the official soap in all the great studios in Hollywood. Right, Woody?
Right on the nose, Jim. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for asking me. Good night.
Good night, Jim.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Thin Man. Nick is on his way to Clyde Winans' deserted laboratory in a dark and desolate section of the city. His cab veers sharply around the corner and pulls up in front of a gloomy, old, rickety building.
Say, mister, are you sure this is the place you wanted?
Looks like it. Come on, Aspet, jump. How much owe you?
$1.20. Or do you want me to wait?
No, never mind.
Oh, that's good. You know, this ain't no neighborhood to be in at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to get out of here.
There you are.
Thanks.
Hello. Come on, Aspet. Come on, what's up with you?
Hello.
Nora, what are you doing here?
I beat you down. I want to go with you, Nick.
Now, listen.
No. You're not going in that place alone, and that settles it. Now get out that skeleton key of yours and open that door. I'm here to stay.
All right, come on. Test.
Darling. Nice neighborhood Winans picked out for his laboratory. I can almost hear the chains rattling. Do you believe in ghosts, Nicky?
There we are. Come in. Be quiet.
Nick, it's dark in here.
Yeah, I've got a flashlight. We'd like to close the door. Shh. Asta, shut up. Go on, Nora.
Which way?
Straight ahead. Can you get the layout of the place?
Looks awfully big to me. You can't even see into the corner.
And don't let the shadows frighten you.
Who's frightened?
Now, hold it.
What's the matter?
This looks like Winans' work table.
More like a slab in a morgue. Look, Nick. There's a cement floor all around.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of weight goes on that table. Come on.
Where to now?
There's an old desk over there on the wall. I want to take a look at it.
What do you expect to find?
Darling, if I knew what I'd find, I wouldn't be...
Nick. What was it, Nick?
Just a loose board, I guess.
It sounds like somebody was walking over that way.
Oh, just your imagination. There's no one in here but us.
No. What about Winans? This is his workshop. Why couldn't he be hiding out here? What's that?
It's Asta. Asta, come here. He's scratching on the cement around the work table. Asta, stop it. Stop it. Did you hear what I said, Asta?
Nick, look at him. He's after something. I've seen him scratch the ground like that when he was looking for...
Nora, look. Look at this. New cement. Listen.
Nick.
It's hollow. I wonder if I can find something to dig it up.
There's an iron bar on the table. I just saw it. Here it is.
Ah, good. Now, if I just knock a hole in that cement, we'll find out what's under there.
Oh, Nick, I'm scared.
Asta, quiet. Keep away, Nora.
Asta, come here.
Once more. There she goes. I'm through the cement.
Nick.
Asta, get away from there. Get away.
Nick, what is it? What's he after?
We must get Inspector Gill here.
What's under there?
A body. Must have been there for weeks.
Oh, Nick.
Wait now, you reporters. You'll get your story as soon as I can give it to you. Until then, you gotta leave this alone. Come on now, get out. Those reporters are enough to drive a guy nuts. Well, you were right, Nick. It was a body. A skeleton, rather, buried in lime. I wonder what Wynant had against this one.
Did you find any clothes?
Yeah, but no identification on them. Just a silver belt buckle with the initials DWR.
DWR? Who was that?
I got a good idea. That case you worked on, the guy who threatened to kill Wynant. What was his name?
Oh, Rosewater.
Yeah, Rosewater. He said Wynant tried to steal an invention, didn't he?
Yes, but we figured it was just blackmail.
Just the same, Wynant wouldn't mind having him out of the way, would he? And according to the doc, the body's been there at least a couple of months.
That's just about the time Wynant closed the shop.
Right.
Did you put the skeleton under the fluoroscope yet?
Half an hour ago. We found the bullet he was killed with, and something in the leg bone. An old piece of shrapnel.
Shrapnel?
Yeah. Why?
Shrapnel in the leg bone. He probably limped.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. Well, so long, Inspector. I'm going to pick up my wife, take her home. It's been a long night.
So long. Give her my best, will you?
Right.
Where are we going, Nick?
Back to the hotel, my sweet. Pack our bags and take a nice trip somewhere.
A trip? Oh, no.
My soul, woman, I gave you 3 murders and you aren't satisfied.
I want you to stay and find Wynant.
I did find him.
What do you mean?
He was down in the shop.
Nick.
It was his body that was buried there.
Wynant's body?
Yeah.
But they all said it was Rosewater.
Oh, that's what they think.
What makes you so sure it's Wynant's body?
Several things. The clothes, for instance. They were carefully preserved. And the body was just as carefully destroyed. The person that killed him counted on one thing, that all skeletons look alike.
Well, don't they?
Sure. But I remember that Wynant had some shrapnel in his shin. They found it under the fluoroscope.
How long has he been dead?
A couple of months, anyway.
Then he couldn't have committed those other murders.
Smart gal.
Wynant dead. Does Dorothy know?
No, nobody but you. I didn't even tell Gil.
Why not?
I want to lie low till I get the whole dope. I don't want to go off half-cocked.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to get the real murderer. I've got an idea. Want to see me take him?
Yes.
You got a nice evening dress?
Oh, I've got a Lulu. Why?
I'm going to give a party, a dinner party. Everything from Russian caviar to camembert cheese, an orchestra behind the palms, subdued lighting.
What is this?
And I'm going to invite all of the suspects.
The suspects? They won't come.
Oh, they'll come. I'll have Gil issue the invitations.
Nick, who's going to be there?
Everybody. You, me, Dorothy, Eric's fiancé,
His name's Andy.
Right. Macaulay, Mimi, Gilbert, Jorgensen, and Morelli.
Oh, darling, what a lovely party.
Good evening, everybody.
Mr. Charles, what is the meaning of this?
The meaning of what, Mimi?
Why were we all rounded up like common criminals and brought to the sitter?
Yes, to eat, Mimi, and talk. Will everyone please be seated? Dorothy, here.
Thank you.
Andy, next to her, please.
Oh, but Mr. Charles,
Please.
Very well.
Mimi on the other side of Andy. Mr. Jorgensen over there, please.
Very kind, Mr. Charles.
Not at all. Mr. Macaulay next.
Of course.
Morelli?
What?
Right where you are.
Now, say, listen.
Sit down. And Gilbert, you can sit just opposite Mama.
Mr. Charles, I have a theory.
We'll listen to it later. Inspector Guild, you and your men will stand by the door, please.
Sure.
Fine. Now, Nora, if you'll sit here by me.
Delighted, Mr. Charles.
Pleasure, Mrs. Charles. Now, we're all ready to begin.
Will you please pass the celery, Mrs. Weiner?
No, I will not. I demand to know why we are here.
Before dinner? All right. I've got some important news. I've seen Wynan.
You, Papa?
Certainly, I mean it.
That's nothing. I saw him myself.
Yes, Mimi? When?
Last night. He came to see me in my apartment.
Oh, did he? What did he say?
He didn't say very much. You want to know how I was and how the children were.
I'm afraid you're lying, Mimi. You see, I really did see Wynan last night.
Are you kidding?
No.
Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you hold him?
Because I found out for certain that he didn't commit the murders.
No, that's ridiculous.
Wait a minute. Let him have his say.
Thank you. Morelli, you knew Julia. Was she jipping Wynan? Taking dough on the sly?
Well, she don't say she is, but I figure she is, yeah.
Thank you. Now I'll tell you why I know Wynant didn't commit those murders. 3 months ago, Wynant found out that Julia was cheating him and was splitting with some man. He went to find the man, and he did. That man was desperate. He knew that he was caught dead to rights. And at prison, staring him in the face, he took the only way out. He killed Wynant.
Oh,
Terrible to tell you this way, Dorothy, but your father's dead.
dead,
He's been dead for 3 months.
dead. Oh.
Oh, darling, don't cry, please.
Oh.
Oh, I know it's terrible, but isn't it really better this way?
Oh, Andy. Andy. You'd better take her home, Andy.
Yes, of course. Come on, darling.
Let them out, Inspector.
Oh, open up.
Oh, don't cry, darling, please. It'll be all right now.
Oh, this is absurd. How can Clyde be dead? You said yourself you saw him last night.
So I did. I saw him lying buried in his shop.
You mean that body?
Was Wynant.
Perfectly absurd.
And the murderer is right here in this room tonight. He's sitting at this table.
What? Who is it?
I don't know. But I thought if we all had a little get-together, we might be able to find out. I'll tell you as much as I know. This murderer is a very clever man. He planned the whole thing beautifully. After he killed Wynant, he wired Macaulay, using Wynant's name, and told him to shut up the shop. Then he took Wynant's body and buried it in the shop with another man's clothes to throw us off the tracks. He even put a belt buckle with an R on it, hoping that we'd think it was Rosewater, an old enemy of Wynant's who dropped out of sight years ago. Morelli.
Yeah?
Would you mind holding your knife the other way? You're worrying Gilbert.
Oh, excuse me.
Nick, if that knife is missing, I'll look for it in your back.
I'll help you look. Well, after our hero had killed Wynant, he got a brilliant idea. He realized that he and Julia could still collect money. Wynant was supposed to be on a trip. No one knew where. So our dinner guest wrote letters to Macaulay, signing Wynant's name, so that Macaulay would continue to send the money to Julia. He even telephoned Macaulay. Do you remember Macaulay? The first day that you came to see me. He telephoned that he was in town.
Well, it must have been Wynant. I should have known if it weren't his voice.
Oh, he was clever about that. He called when you were out. Now, that same afternoon, Julia telephoned him. She said that you were coming, Mimi, to ask about Wynant. He got terrified. He was afraid that Julia would break down and tell. So he went to Julia and killed her. And left Wynant's watch chain in her hand.
Maybe what is the story about that? If I ever get... I don't know. The guy that did that to Julia, it makes sense.
I hope you're well.
Quiet, please. His plan was still working beautifully. The only hitch was a man named Nunheim who had found out something. So our hero bumped him off, too. But our hero overlooked just one item. The telegrams, wires, and telephones were all very well, but no one had seen Wynant. So the murderer picked on poor Mimi here to strengthen his case. Mimi is the only one at this table who can tell us who the real murderer is. Mimi? Who was it told you to say you'd seen Wynant?
Nobody told me. I did see him.
What did he pay you, Mimi, to stick to that story?
It isn't a story. It's true. I did see Wynant. He's not dead.
You're lying, Mimi. But then you'd do anything for money. You're getting a good price for saying you saw Wynant.
I'm not going to stay here and be insulted.
Sit down. You're getting a good price, Mimi. But don't forget this. 2 other people were in with him on this deal. Julia and Nunheim. When he thought they might spill something, he bumped them off. You ought to know darn well that he's not going to take any chances on you. What do you want to do, be next on his list?
No.
Then who is he? Who paid you that money?
Macaulay.
Macaulay, you dirty little...
I think that will hold him.
Oh, boy, what a wallop. Hey, nice work, Mr. Charles.
There's your man, Inspector. Mr. McCauley.
I can't believe it.
What do you want me to do? Wrap him up in cellophane? Pick him up and get him out of here.
Come on, boys. Grab him.
Let me get a hand.
Nick, you took him. I knew you would.
Yeah, another case like this, now I'll develop into a prize fighter.
Oh, Nicky, you're grand. You're glorious.
I'll bet you say that to all the boys.
Well, that's that. The story of the Thin Man with William Powell and Myrna Loy. I'm going to get them back out here in a minute to talk to you. As you know, these broadcasts from the Lux Radio Theatre are quite an event in Hollywood. And among our many friends here tonight is one of the greatest stars of the silent pictures. I admired her from afar when she was doing such magnificent spectacles as Cleopatra, and I was just an extra. Today, she is the wife of one of our leading film directors. I've known her for many years as a most charming and gracious lady, and I want you to meet her now, Miss Theda Bara.
Thank you, Woody. Our Hollywood entertainment has certainly developed amazingly since I was making pictures.
Yes, everything's different now.
As you and I know, before pictures grew up and started to talk, we had to translate all emotion into pantomime. Oh, you may think you have trouble today, but do you remember the difficulties we had working with a split screen? We had to express jealousy, hate, love, or devotion, all in pantomime, and at the same time keep pace as the director guided us with a 1, 2, 3, 4, just as a metronome guides a pianist.
Pantomime has always been one of the greatest of arts. And may I say, Miss Bara, I have always thought that you were one of the greatest masters of that art.
Oh, you're very kind, Woody. We worked awfully hard making those pictures. For instance, in making Cleopatra, we had no research department at the studio. I worked myself for months with the curator of Egyptology at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. It was great fun, though.
I understand, Miss Bara, you're going to make some radio appearances.
Yes, I am. And I'm also going to do some motion picture work.
No, that's good news.
I'm considering an offer now, running through scripts and ideas. Oh, I just hope everyone will be as happy about another Theda Bara picture as I am. The public has been very good to me in the past.
And I know they'll be awfully glad to see you again. I'm sure it'll be a great thrill not only seeing you, but hearing your voice. Thanks, Miss Bara, for joining us tonight.
I'm glad I could. Good night.
Hearing Theda Bara talk of her plans brings to my mind some other plans I've heard discussed in Hollywood this week. Picture people are talking about Charlie Chaplin's recent statement that he will start work on a new picture very shortly. Miss Paulette Goddard will be starred. Chaplin will write and direct, but will not act in it. A disappointment to many of us. Barbara Stanwyck and Robert Taylor are starting a new picture today, and I'm tickled to death that I got the job directing. It's called His Brother's Wife. Speaking of Bob Taylor, there's a lad who is going places. He's got a great future. And sometime in that future, he's going to do Armand to Greta Garbo's Camille. Bill Powell and Myrna Loy here, interested in the making of MGM's picture, The Good Earth. Louise Rayner, who was with them in The Great Ziegfeld, and Paul Muni are the stars. And now Bill Powell and Myrna Loy are coming out on the stage. Arise, Bill, Myrna. Kids, you did a great show. You're really marvelous.
What, no retakes?
No property man.
Yeah, Bill. I'll bet you're glad my property man isn't here. Remember how I used to swat you with a broomstick when you weren't hurrying on the set fast enough?
Yes, that Harry Alvarez is a great fellow. He's the most independent cuss in the whole picture business.
Listen, Bill, that fellow was with me in the Arctic when we made Eskimo. He was with me in African jungle when we made Trader Horn. And after a man has handled crocodiles, sharks, pythons, and polar bears, you can't expect him to be afraid of a mere actor.
Yeah, there's only one thing I can never understand about that picture, Eskimo, Woody. How did they tell you from the polar bears?
He wore rubbers.
I wore a hat.
It must be pretty tough, Woody, when you have to plow through swamps, jungles, tropics, and the Arctic. I suppose when you call up and say you're going on location, your wife says, oh, yes, location. Do you want the snowshoes or the snakebite medicine?
Unfortunately, she doesn't say that. When I say I'm going on location, she just says, you are not. Incidentally, I thought all about that traveling, I thought all about it when the Lux soap people asked me to do this broadcast. Isn't it funny? In the Arctic, soap is something they like to eat. In the tropics, they use soap for money. And here in Hollywood, soap is something that keeps the stars beautiful.
Now, I can see that it keeps Myrna beautiful, Woody, but when are you going to start using that?
Nice talk. What I do use is that. And that's no kidding. Anyway, thanks for coming up, kid.
Goodbye, Woody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Before I tell you about next week's show, I'm going to ask our announcer, Mr. Rick, to tell you more about the cast and about Hollywood studios who are cooperating with us.
Our cast of characters tonight: Nick, William Powell; Nora, Myrna Loy; Mimi, Minna Gamble; Macaulay, Porter Hall; Dorothy, Barbara Luddy; Gilbert, William Henry; Chris Jorgensen, Brett Morrison; Julia Wolfe, Margaret Brayton; Inspector Guild, Thomas Jackson; Morelli, Wally Mayer; Nunheim, Ernie Adams. Our director, W.S. Van Dyke, and our stars, William Powell and Myrna Loy, appeared through courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, as did Mr. William Henry, and Porter Hall through the courtesy of Paramount. The musical director of this program, Mr. Louis Silvers, appears through the kindness of 20th Century Fox. And now, here is your producer, Mr. W.S. Van Dyke.
Thanks to all of you in the cast. You did a swell job. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, the Lux Radio Theatre is going to have a great show for you, and believe me, Al Jolson and Ruby Keeler are going to be here to appear in Burlesque. It was a smash hit on Broadway and then a great moving picture, and now it's going to make a marvelous radio vehicle for Al Jolson and Ruby Keeler. I think you'll like it. B. DeMille will return to the Lux Radio Theatre in time to produce Burlesque. And you know he'll give you a great show. I've enjoyed being with you all, and good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Hollywood, California, Monday, June 22nd. The Lux Radio Theatre presents Merle Oberon and Herbert Marshall in The Dark Angel. Lux presents Hollywood. Tonight, you will meet Merle Oberon, Herbert Marshall, Rod LaRock, Cecil B. DeMille, Leroy Prinz, James Montgomery Flagg, and many others. And gathered here to witness this event is a tremendous audience of Hollywood notables. Seated across the footlights, I see Lois Wilson, Brian Ahern, May McAvoy, Matt Moore, Alan Baxter, Leo Carrillo. Welcome, all of you, to the Lux Radio Theatre. This entertainment is brought to you by the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, the beauty care used by 9 out of 10 Hollywood stars. The pure white soap that can mean a lovelier complexion for you. As producer of the Lux Radio Theatre, we present one of the world's foremost motion picture producers, a man so closely identified with Hollywood that the history of the motion picture industry might well be the story of his own life. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. The lights of 1,000 cities are the footlights of our stage tonight. The play of the evening will be heard from Beverly Hills to Boston, from Miami to Montreal. By shortwave, we are even linked with Tasmania, that island in the South Pacific that gave us the lovely star of tonight's production. Her name is Estelle Merle O'Brien Thompson, but she is known to us all as Merle Oberon. We have listeners also in Hawaii, where once before I directed the man who stars in tonight's production, Herbert Marshall. We were making a picture on the slopes of Mauna Kea in the Koa Forest. I had to stage a fight between Mr. Marshall, Bart as we call him, and William Gargan. Bart was supposed to win, and Gargan was prepared to take a blow and be knocked down. We filmed the scene several times. Each time, Bart played the scene magnificently, up to the final blow. Then something went wrong. I finally asked him why he wasn't giving me what I wanted. And that delightful gentleman, who served with the London Scottish Regiment during the war, who saw action on many fronts and figured gallantly in the Battle of Arras, said very simply, "Mr. DeMille, I just can't bring myself to hit a man full in the face." And now it is curtain time. The Lux Radio Theatre brings you The Dark Angel with Merle Oberon and Herbert Marshall. The Dark Angel is the story of Kitty Vane, played by Merle Oberon, and Alan Trent, a young English officer with whom she is in love, played by Herbert Marshall. August 1915, the first year of the World War, and all Europe is trembling under the impact of the loud guns. Excitement is the keynote of the day. And in a little cottage in the country, Kitty Vane, a charming young English girl, is hurrying off to meet two old friends who are coming home on leave. We hear her running down the stairs.
Good morning, Granny.
Good morning, darling. You're early.
A little.
Going to have breakfast?
I don't think so, Granny. I'll have something at the Shannons with Alan and Gerald.
Very well, dear. You're excited, aren't you?
Terribly.
It's a big day.
The biggest ever, Granny.
Alan Trent and Gerald Shannon. It seems like yesterday they were just babies. And here they are coming back to us after a whole year of war.
Yes. You know, Granny, at first seeing them as soldiers was fun. And I suppose I never really thought they'd be going away. But when they did... Oh, Granny, I'm so glad they're coming home again.
I'm afraid it won't be for very long.
No, I suppose not. But even a few days are better than nothing. And Alan promised me they'd stay just as long as they possibly could.
In these days, we have to make the best of everything. It's been a long year for you, hasn't it, darling?
It wouldn't have been so bad if... Oh, Granny, if only I knew. If I were only sure.
Of Alan?
Yes.
Aren't you sure?
How can I be? When one loves so hard and for so long, one can never really be sure. And it used to be so easy, Granny. When we were children, I'd just ask him to marry me. But now, it's growing up, Granny. That's what it is. Things aren't so simple anymore. I can't just say, Alan, please marry me, quick.
Why not? That's the best way to do it. Saves a lot of time.
I bet that's just what you would do.
Of course. Kitty, come here. I want to talk to you.
Yes, Granny.
Kitty, you may not be sure of Alan. I don't know how he feels about you, but I do know how Gerald feels about you.
Gerald?
He's in love with you, Kitty.
Granny.
Yes, my dear. I've seen it, and I know it.
But it's silly. You shouldn't say things like that, Granny.
I'm an old woman, my dear. I can say what I please.
But, Gerald, I've never thought about Gerald except as Alan's cousin. Why, I've known Gerald ever since we were babies.
And Alan, too, my dear.
Yes, but, well, that's different. Somehow. I can't explain it, but it is different.
Is it?
Of course it is. Heavens, look at the time. I must fly. I've got to meet Mrs. Shannon at the station. Goodbye, Granny, dear.
Goodbye, child. Don't drive too fast.
I won't.
And give my love to Alan and Gerald.
I will, Granny. Goodbye.
Bye.
Troop train coming in on platform number 3, 20 minutes late. Troop train, 20 minutes late, coming in on...
I'll be here soon. Tommy will be here soon.
We're just leaving
over
here.
when the train comes in,
I hope he's well. I hope he's well. Well, Kitty, I just spoke to the station master. Their train's 20 minutes late. 20 entire minutes.
After 11 months of waiting, that really isn't so long. And just think they'll be home with us for 10 whole days.
Oh, I'm almost afraid to meet them. Do you think they'll be the same, look the same?
Oh, I think we'll recognize them.
Oh, look the train is coming. Oh, why doesn't it stop? Aunt Sheila, what have we done? Stop
You
here.
silly child, it's stopping now.
Where are they? Henry, Sandy, how do you think
they'll find us. Kitty, be patient,
Oh,
darling.
look there they are. Helen, Gerald, Helen.
Kitty, darling.
Oh, Helen.
How are you, kid? Aunt Sheila.
Oh, my
Oh, Mother. Hello, Aunt Sheila.
So good to see you, Helen. You're really back.
Yes, really back. Oh, look at Kitty Gerald. She's getting prettier every day.
Yes, our Kitty. Standing right before us.
I think Aunt Sheila's getting prettier, too.
Stop, Alan. Come along, we've got the car.
It's this way.
Hope you've got something to eat, Aunt Sheila. I'm as hungry as a bear.
Luncheon's waiting for you.
Good. For dessert, we can have dinner and top that off with a bit of supper. Wonderful idea, Alice.
Are you two going to spend the whole 10 days eating?
We decided that months ago. Eating, sleeping, bathing. Eating, sleeping, bathing.
I said, Gerald, maybe we can think of some way to eat while we're sleeping. You know, we haven't given this thing enough thought.
Oh, very dull. Oh, very dull indeed.
Hey, Kitty, where are you going?
Alan, don't you know it's very bad manners to shout out of second-story windows?
Well, it's just as bad as shout back. Want a piece of cake?
No, I'm tired of seeing you eat. I'm going home.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll come with you. Maybe there's something new to eat at your house.
There isn't. Goodbye.
No, wait. Look, Kitty, if you don't wait, I'll jump down.
Get back in that window, idiot.
Will you wait?
No.
All right, here I come.
Alan, don't. Alan, why did you do that? Alan, darling, get up. You're not hurt, are you? Alan, why don't you speak?
Aunt Sheila always taught me not to speak with my mouth full. You like some cake? Here.
Stupid clown. Now I will go.
No, don't go, Kitty. See, I did scratch my hand. Oh, no, slow up there. Scratches like this cause lockjaw or something.
Serves you right.
Kitty, you're changed. You're positively bloodthirsty.
And you haven't changed. You're still a child. You don't feel...
Huh? What don't I feel?
You don't feel anything.
Don't I? How do you know what I feel? Do you know about the months I've been away? The agony I've been in because of you? Do you know how frightened I was of coming home, of finding that you'd changed? That you didn't feel the things I wanted you to feel? Oh, look here. I can't say it all. Maybe I can't see any part of it. I'm scared. Kitty, I have so much love for you. It's like something you saved up for a lifetime and didn't know about. And then it all comes at once. I love you so, Kitty.
Oh, Alan. I wanted to hear you say that so much.
Darling, surely you knew.
I wasn't sure. You see, I've always been around.
I know. When I first looked through the bars of my crib, there you were, telling me what to do.
I was not.
When I saw my first tree, you were in it, peering down. My first bird, my first squirrel, my first bath, you were always there.
That's what makes me afraid. You You may be just used to me. You may meet some other girl.
Oh, no, shh, you sweet idiot. Don't ever say that. There'll be no one else ever. If you ever weren't there, I'd stop living. I'd stop breathing. I'd stop wanting to breathe.
Alan.
Don't ever go away, Kitty.
Never, Alan. Oh, my darling.
Come on. We'll tell Aunt Sheila.
And Gerald, too.
Now, wait. What are we going to tell them?
But we're going to be married.
But when? Day after tomorrow?
No, tomorrow.
Why, you shameless hussy. Come on, we'll run.
Wait, Alan.
Now, come on.
You're going too fast.
Up the steps, quick.
Who's going to tell them?
Both of us. Aunt Sheila, where are you?
Hello. What's all the excitement?
Oh, Gerald.
Big news.
Can you guess, Gerald?
I think I can. So it's fully happened after all these years. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Gerald.
All my love, Kitty, for you both. This is the way it should be. I'm happy about it.
Did you call me, Alan?
Come here, Mother.
Is anything wrong?
Oh, no, it's right. These two have got themselves engaged.
Getting married tomorrow.
Married? Oh, that's splendid, Kitty, dear. I'm very happy. I know you'll be happy. Both of you.
We'll all of us be together. Always now. Do you mind if I run? I can't wait to tell Granny. I think you should come with me, Alan.
I fully intend to. We'll be back. Come on, Kitty.
Gerald, you love her too, don't you?
Yes, Mother.
Oh, darling.
It's all right, Mother. This is the way it should be.
Gerald, I almost forgot. This message came for you a while ago from the War Office. Well, I do hope...
War Office? Let me see it, dear.
What is it, Gerald? Gerald!
We've got to go back. We're leaving England tomorrow morning.
Oh, Gerald, no.
Must be a big drive on. All leaves are canceled.
Oh, those poor children. They were to be married tomorrow.
Yes. I'll have to tell them.
You mean you can't marry us, Father Charles?
I'm afraid I can't, Alan.
But you've known us ever since we were children. There must be some way.
The notices for all weddings must be posted first, Kitty. Oh, you know that, my dear. 2 hours ago it might have been possible. It's too late now.
Oh, Father.
I'm sorry, Kitty. I know how you feel. But try to see that Alan will be back soon, and you'll be married here. We'll arrange it all beforehand. It won't be long.
Who knows how long it'll be?
Oh, my boy.
I'm sorry, Father. Thank you, anyhow. You've been very patient with us.
God bless you, and bring you back to this church for the marriage you want. Goodbye, my children.
Well, Kitty, nobody will marry us. After all these years, we're 2 hours too late. 2 hours, Kitty, that would have changed our lives.
No, Alan. They're not going to change our lives.
Kitty.
I marry you, Alan Trent, in front of a church.
And I marry you, Kitty Vane, for always. Until the day I die. Kitty, you're not eating.
I can't.
You shouldn't have come down here, darling. We should have said goodbye at the church.
I wanted to be with you, Alan. Right to the last.
Is there anything I can do for you, sir?
No, thank you.
Well, I hope the dinner was good.
Quite good.
That's right. I always like to see a soldier eat before he's off. I suppose you're one of them as is leaving on the boat tonight, sir.
Yes.
Well, over the top with the best of luck, say I.
What's that?
Oh, the guns. You can hear them when the wind's this way. I always tell my husband that those guns make it like living right in the war, so to speak. I always say...
Yes, I know, yes, of course. I wonder, would you mind bringing some more coffee?
coffee? Not at all, sir. Fetch it right away, I will.
Kitty, darling.
Oh, Alan, those guns. They frighten me, Alan. And the men we passed coming down. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And in a little while you'll be gone. Gone with the rest of them. You'll...
No, listen to me. They're going. I'm going. There's nothing to be done about that. There isn't much time left. And we must face the truth. And the truth is that in the few hours we have left, we must live a whole life together. We must play a game. And we must know it's a game. And if it's a silly game, it's the best we can do. The game is this. You must pretend that there is nothing tense and desperate about these few hours. And that the only time I'll have to leave you for the rest of our lives is to buy us both a loaf of bread and a bottle of milk.
No, Alan.
Do you think you could pretend that, darling?
I'll try. What time do you really have to leave, Alan?
Very soon, dear, 5:30. But until then, remember, we're together for the rest of our lives. Time now, darling.
So soon?
Yes, I've got to leave.
Very well, Alan.
Look at me, Kitty. You'll do something for me?
Whatever you wish.
Then sit here. Just where you are. Close your eyes, darling. Now, don't open them till I've gone. I love you. I'll always love you. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, my love. Goodbye.
Phew. Pretty bad going out there tonight.
Sounds like it. How's that trench coming along?
Oh, slow but sure. Say, I meant to ask you, Gerald. Do you mind signing this card for me? It's an application for leave.
Leave? At this time? Afraid I can't do it, Alan.
Now, look here, Gerald. You said that last week. I want to go home. I want to see Kitty.
I know you do, but I need you here, old man.
You could get along without me for 5 or 6 days, couldn't you? Wouldn't lose the war?
No, wouldn't win it either. I'd like to let you go, Alan.
Well, you could if you wanted to.
Alan!
Sorry. I'm sorry, it's nerves. Forget it, will you?
Captain Shannon. Yes, sir, in here. Good evening. Evening, sir. How are you, Trent?
Oh, all right, sir.
Keep your feet.
Thanks.
Shannon, we've reports of enemy activity on the northern sector. We've got to find out what it's all about. Yes, sir. Tonight's a good night. There's no moon. A raid? Yes. I want 12 men. Can you take a party out? I can find 6 or 8, sir. We're rather depleted. I know. How about Trent here? Trent? Well, I don't know, sir. I'll need him for some other... I want volunteers only.
I'll go, sir. Glad to.
That's the spirit, Trent. Now then, take a look at this map. Here's the sector. I should warn you that they'll be expecting you. And they'll make it as hot for you as they possibly can. Now, I would... Yes. Ready, Alan?
Ready. How much time?
30 seconds. Sorry I got you into this, old man.
That's all right.
Look out!
The Colonel said they were expecting us, didn't he? Oh, it won't take long. Over and back in 3 minutes if all goes well. What is it now?
10 seconds. Good luck, Alan.
Good luck, Gerald.
All set?
Anytime you are.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Over we go! Come on! Stay down! Down, everyone! Stay down in them!
Granny! Are you asleep, Granny?
Kitty, what's the matter?
Granny, did you hear something?
Only the wind, darling. Why?
I thought I heard a scream. A long scream. Oh, Granny.
You've been dreaming, child.
Yes. Yes. I thought I saw Alan. Alan with a black cloud hanging low over him. Like a dark angel come down to... Oh.
There. Go back to bed, my darling. You'll be all right in the morning.
Well, Captain Shannon, everything went off all right, didn't it? Yes, sir. Did you bring back a prisoner? Yes, sir. Good. What about the men? Lose any? Shannon, I asked you if you lost any men.
Yes, sir. We lost 4 men.
4?
One of them was Alan Trent.
You are hearing Merle Oberon and Herbert Marshall in the Lux Radio Theatre presentation of The Dark Angel, coming to you direct from Hollywood. We continue with the play in just a few moments. But now let's take a side glance at the screen capital.
It's lunchtime in the Brown Derby, and as usual, this famous restaurant is being patronized by lots and lots of stars, and lots of visitors hoping to see them. Let's listen to a chat between Elsie, a girl who lives in Hollywood, and a visitor from out of town.
Oh, look, Elsie. That must be... Oh, it is Norma Shearer. Do you see her here often?
Oh, yes. Lovely, isn't she?
Oh, she's a real beauty. Lovelier than I thought she'd be, even. Boy, but she knows how to dress. And what skin!
Nice skin is something a movie star just has to have, Alice. Oh, there's Joan Blondell over there, the girl in brown.
Oh, yes. Well, her skin is certainly knockout, too.
Just has to be. No one here can afford to have cosmetic skin. Why, if they had enlarged pores or little blemishes, it would just be too bad.
I've read about how they use Lux toilet soap to remove cosmetics.
Yes, and I know that's what they do. Remember Jane Bangs?
Yes.
Well, her family's here now, and her brother works in one of the big studios. And he says Lux toilet soap is always in the stars' dressing rooms.
Wise women all over the country are protecting their skin the way Hollywood's lovely stars do. Before they put on fresh makeup during the day, always before they go to bed at night, they use Lux toilet soap. This simple, regular care protects the skin, keeps it clear, smooth, good to look at. And once again, Cecil B. DeMille.
The Dark Angel with Merle Oberon as Kitty Vane and Herbert Marshall as Alan Trent continues. Many months have passed since the night Alan disappeared into the darkness of the battlefield. Gerald, on leave again, has gone directly to Kitty. We find them sitting under a tree in Kitty's garden.
It's wonderful to see you again, Gerald. It seems ages since you were home.
It's been ages.
You're looking well.
Oh, I'm fit enough. What about you, Kitty?
I?
You look tired.
Oh, no. No. I'm very well. Oh, Gerald.
Kitty, darling, don't cry, please.
I'm so sorry. What a bad homecoming for you. I wanted it to be different, happier for you.
No, it couldn't have been without Alan.
Gerald, when Alan died, it was the night of the 17th, wasn't it?
Yes.
What time was it?
I don't know, dear. There was an explosion and I never saw him again. I think it must have been shortly after...
Shortly after 11 o'clock. I know. He had wired me he was expecting leave, and then...
He wanted leave, Kitty. He wanted to come home to you.
And he couldn't get leave?
I wouldn't give it to him.
What?
I wouldn't give it to him. I could have, but I didn't. I refused, Kitty. I killed Alan.
Darren, what are you saying?
It's my fault. If I'd done what he wanted me to, he'd be alive today. It's my fault, Kitty. I killed Alan.
No, Gerald. It was because I loved him so. Because he loved me so. It was too beautiful to last, Gerald. That's why Alan died. Our love was too beautiful. Too happy.
Yes, Doctor?
Bring Roger Crane in, please.
Yes, sir. Roger Crane?
Yes?
Dr. Barton would like to see you.
Of course.
Give me your hand. I'll lead you in.
Thank you.
There you are. Roger Crane, Dr. Barton.
Well, come in, Crane.
Thanks.
This way, Crane. There's a chair right in front of you. Here, let me help you.
Oh, it's all right. I can find it, Doctor. I'm learning to feel my way around quite well now.
Fine, fine.
Nature takes care of a man, doesn't she, Doctor? If she takes away his eyes, she gives him a good sense of direction.
Compensation, we call it. You notice the difference between night and day yet?
No, not yet.
Well, that'll come.
Is that all I can ever hope for, Doctor? To notice the difference between night and day? Will I never see anything again?
No, Crane. I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
Oh, Crane, I want to talk with you. Not as the head of a rehabilitation hospital, but as man to man. Today, you leave us. I'm assigning an orderly to you. Mills. A pleasant fellow. He'll take you home.
I'm not going home, Doctor. I have no home.
And your real name is not Roger Crane, is it?
It's as good a name as any other?
Yes, I suppose so. Well, Crane, I've a few things here that belong to you. Some money, a very disreputable-looking pipe.
Thank you.
And a photograph.
Photograph?
Yes. So I've kept these things for a reason. Now, look here, my boy. You came to us from a German prison hospital. Your card read that all means of identifying you had been destroyed. I could have gone into that further, but I didn't.
I know that. I'm grateful.
Now, this picture. I see there are 3 people in it. One of them is you. There's an inscription. To Alan and Gerald. Take care of each other. Kitty. Now, Crane, those 3 people are not strangers to one another. Who are the other 2? Why aren't you going home?
Fear of being pitied, I suppose? Being a nuisance? I know what it means. I once saw blind men in a hospital. Stumbling, helpless. Now I'm one of them.
Is that your only reason?
Reason enough, Dr. Barton.
Well. What are you going to do?
I don't know. Take a cottage. Somewhere in the country where I can be alone. I've always wanted to write. I think now might be a good time to start, don't you?
And that's going to be your life. Away from your home, your friends. Away from everything that made life sweet.
Yes.
It's a lonesome existence you've picked for yourself, Crane.
I know it. But that's the way it's got to be. I can't go back.
What are you reading, Granny?
The book reviews. There's an article about young children's stories. They say he's blind.
Blind?
He dictates all his books.
Poor fellow. I dare say he's happy, though.
What does it? Courage, Kitty.
It's too bad we're not all like him.
We could if
I've tried, Granny.
Yes, my child. Odd enough. You are death, Kitty. A deep, dark shadow. You into the sun.
Oh, Granny, I'll never forget Alan. Never.
I don't ask to forget, Kitty. Ask you to remember. But make your memories pleasant. Happy memories, not...
I'll try, Granny.
Yes, Martha. Mr. Gerald's at the door, Miss Kitty. He asked if he might see you.
Well, dear?
Ask him to wait, Martha. I'll be right there.
Yes, Kitty.
I'm glad you're going to see him. He's been very happy about you lately.
Has he?
He's still in love with you, darling.
Excuse me,
Of course, dear. Run along.
Hello, Gerald.
Kitty, how are you?
All right. It's been a long time since you were here, Gerald.
I know. I didn't want to come.
Why not?
You've been keeping to yourself so much lately. I thought perhaps you'd like to be alone as much as possible.
Thank you, Gerald. Shall we sit down out here? How is your mother?
Oh, she's very well. She's been worried about you, though.
Tell her I'm coming to see her soon, will you?
I wish you would, Kitty. The house hasn't been the same without you, really.
I was there a lot, wasn't I?
We want you there again. I know what it's been for you these last 2 years. It's been agony for me just thinking about you. I'd like to try to make you happy again. Will you let me try, Kitty?
Oh, Gerald, you're very sweet to me.
Mills?
Yes, Mr. Crane?
Read that last paragraph back to me, will you?
Certainly, sir. The boys, tired of fishing, were splashing about in the sea, having left Jennifer on board to watch the lines. They'd swum a little distance away from the side when a puff of wind stirred the sails. The boat gave a quiver, and Jennifer jumped to her feet. Suddenly she realized to her horror that the boat was a-moving. In terror, she ran to the side and shouted, "Peter, Peter, we're drifting out to sea."
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's pretty exciting, sir. Excuse me asking, sir, but what's going to happen to her?
I'm not sure yet. We'll call that the end of chapter 6, Mills.
Very good, sir. End of chapter
That'll be all for this afternoon. By the way, Mills, any word from Dr. Barton?
Oh, yes, he's coming down the 8 o'clock train, sir.
Oh, well. Have some hot tea ready, Mills, and a good fire if you can stir one up.
Yes, I'll have a fine fire, sir. It'll be great guns by the time he gets here.
Another cup of tea, Dr. Barton?
No, thanks. It's a nice place you have here, Crane.
I like it.
Very comfortable. How's the new along?
We've made a start.
Fine.
It's been amazingly easy. I stretch out all day here in the study or back to Mills. Sometimes I laugh at myself. Imagine me stories for boys.
I read about you a few weeks ago in the section of the Times. I wondered why you print your photograph.
I don't think my picture...
No? Crane, during the war, you were in the artist rifles, weren't you?
Yes?
You ever come across a chap called Shannon? Gerald Shannon?
Company.
Oh, is that so? Well, Crane, do you remember a photograph of yours I gave at the hospital? A photograph of 3...
I remember.
I think I saw 2 of those people again. Of their pictures, I mean.
Where?
In the Sunday Times. I brought it along with me. The caption says they're Gerald Shannon and Kitty Vane. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. What's it say about them?
It says they're going to be married.
Married? Are they? I'm very glad. We used to be quite good friends. They've been very close to each other all their lives. I was hoping this would happen. When is the wedding?
June 3rd. They're giving an engagement dance tonight. At his home.
Oh, that's fine, isn't it? I'm glad. Kitty, where are you?
Here, Gerald.
Darling, what are you doing out here all by yourself?
Just thinking.
Happy, darling?
Don't you know I am?
What were you thinking about?
Oh, everything. You and me, our marriage,
And Alan?
Gerald.
It's all right, darling. I understand.
I couldn't help but think of him tonight. But they weren't sad thoughts, Gerald. I was just thinking that if Alan could see us, if in some way he knew that I was going to marry you, I think he'd be happy too.
My darling.
I say, Crane. Crane.
What? Oh, yes, Doctor?
You've been sitting there for over an hour without saying a word. Anything wrong on that?
No, nothing's wrong.
Wasn't that talk about the picture, was it? I thought so. I'm sorry. I guess I've gone off the deep end again.
No, that's all right, Doctor. Oh, it's my own fault. It's been my own fault right from the beginning. I ought to put 1,000 miles between her and me, but I didn't. I stayed here where I might be near her. Hear a word of her. I had it coming to me, and now I've got it. I've lied to myself, Doctor. I pretended that I've made a life, that I was happy. Now I've found myself out. The work of all these years thrown away.
It's tough luck, old man.
Sorry I let go. I ought to be darn well ashamed of myself. I think I'll take a stroll in the garden and cool off.
Can I take you out?
No, I can find my way. I'm used to it now. Doctor, that picture in the paper, is she just as pretty as she always was?
Yes. She's very pretty.
I'm glad it's a good picture. I wish I could see it.
Hello, operator. I want to speak to Mr. Gerald Shannon. No, I don't know his number, but it's near Southwell. Yes, Shannon. Gerald Shannon. Yes, thank you.
Gerald, where have you been?
I had a telephone call from a Dr. Barton.
Barton? I don't remember. Gerald, what's the matter? You look as if you'd seen a ghost. Is anything wrong?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Gerald, that telephone call, what was it about? Can't you tell me, Gerald?
I've got to tell you. It was about Alan.
Alan?
Alan's alive.
Alive? Gerald. Gerald, what are you saying? He can't be alive.
He is. I'm going to take you to him now.
Oh, Gerald. Gerald. I'm afraid.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is Cecil B. DeMille speaking to you from Hollywood. Our play continues in just a moment. Standing beside me is a man who has been dancing in and out of trouble all his life. Soldier of fortune, war ace, member of the French Foreign Legion, political prisoner in Cuba, ammunition smuggler in Mexico. His adventures would provide material for 100 Hollywood thrillers. Yet today, of all things, he is a dance director at Paramount Studio. But his courage never deserts him. He flew to Yuma yesterday and was married. The man who fears nothing, Leroy Prince.
You're wrong, C.B. there are two things I am scared of. One is this microphone, and the other is DeMille.
I don't know why. I've trusted you with some of my oddest odd jobs, including me help make fox hunting scenes.
I sure remember that. Every time you got through shooting a scene of the dogs chasing a fox, you made me chase the dogs back home. I'm a dance director, not a dog catcher. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to chase any Indians for you in your next picture. The Plainsman. Let Gary Cooper do that. I'm doing bigger things now.
Bigger than a DeMille production? You must be starting another revolution. Are you?
Well, I might be. I'm picking the 100 most beautiful girls in Hollywood for Paramount's new picture, the big broadcast of 1937.
Dancing into trouble again, huh?
You said it. Because Hollywood's just jammed full of girls with trim figures and nice complexions. I mention nice complexions not only because this happens to be the Lux Radio Theatre, but because good complexions are really important. And, of course, Lux toilet soap is what almost all of these girls with nice complexions use. As a matter of fact, I use it myself. But I guess that's beside the point. But I can tell you why the girls use it. There are so many good dancers that if you want to get anywhere, you've got to stand out from the crowd. And nothing does that for a girl better than a really beautiful skin. And that's why more and more of these kids are using Lux toilet soap. Because the nice-looking girls are the ones that get the breaks.
They use their heads as well as Lux, huh? Like your brother Eddie.
Yes, and he still has a headache from it. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. DeMille wanted a novelty act for his picture, Madam Satan. I knew my brother could provide it. Eddie's stunt consisted of leaping over a piano, landing gracefully on his head, and rolling up to his feet. We set the scene. Eddie ran, sailed through the air, cleared the piano, and made a perfect landing on his head. Just as we guaranteed. How do you like it, I asked Mr. DeMille. It's all right, said Mr. DeMille, looking steadily at Eddie. Why doesn't he get up?
He certainly used his head to get into pictures.
So long, Maestro.
So long, soldier. We come to the last act of The Dark Angel, starring Merle Oberon as Kitty Vane and Herbert Marshall as Alan Trent. It is 1 hour later. Dr. Barton and Alan stand facing each other across a table in Alan's cottage. The doctor has just told Alan of his telephone call to Gerald.
Why did you do it, Barton? Why? I had to, old man. I knew it was right and that it had to be done. Shannon ought to be here soon. I expect you'll want to speak to him alone.
Yes, of course.
Well, I'll clear out.
Did you tell him that I was blind?
No. Only that you were here.
Is he coming alone?
He didn't say. I don't know what this will do to your feeling for me. I hope not too much. Good night, old man.
Gerald coming here. Mills.
Yes, sir?
Come here, Mills. Tell me something. Is this room just as it usually is?
Why, yes, Mr. Crane.
I must be absolutely certain. Have a good look. Is anything out of its usual place? Any furniture changed about?
No, sir. Nothing at all, sir.
Good. My pipe's here in the tray. Yes, that's right. Matches. Cigarettes on the table?
Yes, sir.
And flowers in the bowl, right?
Sir. Right.
What kind? What color?
Yellow, sir. Tea roses.
Tea roses. I must remember that.
Anything else, Mr. Crane?
No, thanks, no. Oh, wait. There was a copy of the Times that Dr. Barton left.
It's here, sir. By the lamp, sir.
Thanks. Bring in some drinks soon, will you? I'm expecting a visitor.
Very good, sir.
Let me know as soon as he comes. But remember this. Say nothing about my eyes. Do you understand? Nothing. I don't want him to know that I'm blind. That's why I want everything in its place, so he won't notice it.
Yes, sir. I won't mention a thing, sir. Not a thing.
That's all, Mills.
Yes, sir.
They?
Yes, sir. Lady and a gentleman, sir.
A lady? Young?
Yes, small, dark, and very pretty, sir.
Very pretty.
Shall I show him in, sir?
Yes.
Very well, sir. Mr. Crane's in the sitting room, ma'am.
Thank you. Alan.
Kitty, how are you?
Oh, Alan.
Alan, old man. Gerald, it's so good to see you. And Kitty.
It's really you. I always knew sometime, somewhere.
That we should meet again? Yes, I think I always knew it, too. The three of us. I'm so happy to see you both. Sit down, Kitty. Gerald, old man, sit down. You'll have a drink, won't you?
Alan, what?
There's a cigarette right there on the table, Gerald.
Alan, what's the matter?
All right. What do you mean?
You act so queerly. You treat us like strangers.
Oh, Kitty.
But you must have so much to tell us.
Yes, Alan. Well, it's a long story. But I want to hear about you. How's Aunt Sheila? How's everything? I'll keep you here for days telling me. Just get you a cigarette, Gerald. Matches here, huh? Thanks. I have some.
Where have you been, Alan? Where?
Well, I've been here. I've become a writer. Remember when we were kids? I was going to be a Shakespeare. Well, I'm not a Shakespeare. I write books for children. I like doing it. I guess I've done fairly well. I use the name Roger Crane.
But, Alan, why didn't you let us know?
Do you mind if I have a pipe? I'll show you around the garden later. I'm terribly proud of my roses. Just look at these yellow ones in the bowl. Pretty, aren't they? Tea roses.
Alan, what's happened to us?
Yes, why are you holding us off, Alan? I saw the notice of your engagement in the newspaper. Nice picture, too. My love to you both. I hope you'll be very, very happy. So, that's it. That's why you sit there torturing us, torturing Kitty. For years, you've let us believe you're dead, and well, now we come here after all this time, and you talk of roses. Good Lord, man, you've only to look at Kitty's face to know what you're doing to her.
Gerald. Go outside, Gerald. I want to speak with Alan alone.
Very well. No, wait, Gerald. I see no reason. I'll be out in the garden.
Alan, tell me now.
There's very little to tell, really.
You suffer, darling. Something's hurt you. Won't you tell me? Why didn't you come home, Alan?
It's hard to tell you, Kitty. But I've got to. The war did something to me. I've changed.
Changed?
Yes, after all, the war doesn't leave you quite where it found you, does it? I spent months in a German hospital, months in a prison camp. When I came out, I wanted to be alone for a little while. To build a new life away from old friends and old memories. So I came here. I always meant to come back someday. But I like it here, and well, I just didn't come back.
You stopped loving me. Is that it, Alan?
I love you, Kitty. I loved you then. But in a different way, I suppose. I didn't have the courage to tell you.
I see. I understand. Forgive me. I've been tormenting you. It means we won't see each other again.
It would be better if we didn't, Kitty.
Very well. But before that happened, I want to tell you that I loved you then. I love you now. I love you with all my heart. I've never loved anyone else. I never will again. Goodbye, Alan.
Goodbye, Kitty.
Oh, Gerald.
Did he tell you anything?
No. Just that he's changed. Gerald, what's happened to him? What's happened to him?
Don't, Kitty. Don't, please.
Take me home. Take me home.
No. You've got to stay here.
No.
Yes, dear. You see, I just spoke to the doctor. The one who called me.
Well?
Go back to Alan, Kitty. He needs you. You love him, don't you? Go back inside and stand in front of him. Don't tell him you're there. Don't make a sound. Just watch him.
Watch him?
Go now, darling.
But Gerald...
Go now, darling.
Yes, Gerald.
Who's that, Mills? Mills, come here. I was just about to call you. I've been thinking lately of going away. Leaving the country. I have reasons, unfortunately. And I'll have to let you go. I'm sorry, Mills, but... Mills, are you there? Who is it? Who's standing there?
Alan. Oh, Alan, my darling. My darling, my darling. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me you couldn't see me?
Kitty, don't.
I'm here now, darling. Right here in front of you. Put your arms around me. Hold me. Hold me tight.
Stop. Think what it means.
It means life again. I've been dead. Oh, dearest, it was cruel of you. How could you know me so little?
Kitty, will you listen to me?
No, I won't. I won't. You told me once never to go away. I never shall. You may as well face it. You'll never be alone again, darling. Wherever you are, I'll be with you. Always. Always.
Oh, Kitty. I never could escape from you, could I?
Never.
You were always popping up.
Always.
Thank God you popped up this time.
So ends the story of the Dark Angel. And in just a moment you will hear further from our artists, Merle Oberon and Herbert Marshall. Speaking of artists in a more specific sense, I doubt if there is any painter in the United States better known than our guest tonight. With Charles Dana Gibson and Howard Chandler Christie, he made the beauty of the American girl famous the world over. He's also a motion picture pioneer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Montgomery Flagg.
Yes, you may not have noticed it, Mr. DeMille, but I was making two-reelers when you were making your first great spectacle films. I produced and supervised 26 satirical comedies. They were billed as comedies because they claimed no one would know what a satire was. They thought it was a gent with goat's legs and horns. I even acted in some of them.
I hope your acting was better than my painting.
Well, D.W. Griffith offered me $30 a week to play villains. He's never withdrawn the offer. I made one called Perfectly Fiendish Flanagan. The takeoff on my pal William S. Hart. I played Mr. Fiendish Flanagan, the scourge of the prairies. But this time I came out here from the United States to make a series of 12 portrait drawings of leading stars for photoplay covers. I've already drawn your star tonight, Miss Merle Oberon. I'd seen her in several pictures, but never had the slightest desire to make a portrait of her. Seemed to be a false glamour about her features. But as soon as I met her, I found Miss Oberon beautiful. The same charming, unaffected, real person she portrayed tonight in The Dark Angel. In regard to my drawing these stars, they're invariably charming and gracious, and I fully realize the terrific claims made on their time, their unreal life under the glare of the world's bloodshot eye. My astonishment was great that they could still be unaffected and simple in their manner. My hat, if I wore one, is off to them and to your Lux Theatre. Good night.
Before Mr. DeMille comes back with Miss Oberon and Mr. Marshall, I'd like to mention the names of some of those beautiful stars Mr. Flagg came here to draw. You know them all. Ginger Rogers, Carol Lombard, Joan Crawford, Jean Arthur, Betty Davis, Claudette Colbert, Jean Harlow. It's a list of the screen's most famous beauties. We're proud to say that every one of those stars I mentioned uses Lux toilet soap. That goes for tonight's lovely star, too. Next time you see Merle Oberon on the screen, notice her flawless complexion. Remember, it's Lux toilet soap that keeps it smooth. And here's Mr. DeMille.
And now we present Merle Oberon and Herbert Marshall as themselves. As Mr. Flagg has said, Miss Oberon is the same sincere, delightful person that she portrayed in The Dark Angel. And Herbert Marshall, who played the soldier, did in real life serve with distinction in the war. In fact, the very name, Herbert, means bright warrior. Merle Oberon, Herbert Marshall.
Now, just a minute, Mr. DeMille. You have me a little mixed up. Before the play, I was a man who hated to fight. During the play, I did, and now you say my name proves I love it, and I don't.
Well, names are deceiving. Cecil means dim-sighted. Yet out of 3,000 people at a Roman banquet, I can detect the one extra girl on the back of the set who's chewing gum.
And Merle means nightingale, but I never sing in my pictures.
I'm told you sing and speak in many languages. French, Spanish, Russian, even Hindustani.
That's from living years in India, Mr. DeMille. It was there that I first saw the picture of The Dark Angel. It was a silent version with Ronald Colman and Vilma Banky. And I longed to be an actress and do it myself.
Well, you realized your dream magnificently, both on the screen and tonight in the Lux Radio Theatre. It's your best performance so far. What's your next?
It's called, for the time being at least, In Love and War.
What's yours, boss? All fair?
Well, next week I start in Portrait of a Rebel with Katharine Hepburn.
Who's the rebel, you or Katharine?
It's Katharine. But I was a rebel once. My family wanted me to be an accountant. I wanted to be an actor.
Well, that's one rebellion I approve of.
Oh, thank you.
To the Lux Radio Theatre. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Heard on tonight's program was A Pretty Girl is Like a Melody from the Music Box Review. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.